Have you ever wondered what actually happens when you click buy or sell on your trading platform? It's not just magic, there's a massive infrastructure sitting between you and the $7 trillion a day currency market. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on how Forex brokers actually work. We'll break down ECN versus market makers, how they make their money, and, most importantly, the red flags you need to watch out for to keep your capital safe. If you want to master the mechanics of the market, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. The foreign exchange, Forex, market is a colossal, decentralized financial ecosystem where trillions of dollars change hands daily. Unlike the New York Stock Exchange or the London Stock Exchange, there is no single physical location where currencies are traded. Instead, the entire market operates electronically via a global network of banks, institutions, and, most importantly for retail traders, Forex brokers. To the uninitiated, a Forex broker might seem like a simple digital doorway. You deposit money, click a button to buy euros against the US dollar, and either profit or lose. However, beneath this simple user interface lies a sophisticated, often misunderstood mechanism of liquidity provision, risk management, and technological infrastructure. Understanding how Forex brokers actually work is not just a matter of academic curiosity, it is the single most critical factor in determining whether a retail trader survives or fails. This article will dissect the anatomy of a Forex broker, exploring the different business models, DD versus NDD, the mechanics of spreads and commissions, the role of liquidity providers, the controversial world of dealing desks, and the regulatory safeguards that underpin the entire industry. At its heart, a Forex broker acts as a financial intermediary. On one side, they provide access to the interbank market, a Tier 1 ecosystem where giant financial institutions like JP Morgan, Deutsche Bank, and Citibank trade currencies in standard lots of millions of units. On the other side, they cater to the retail trader, the individual sitting at home with a laptop, looking to trade a micro lot of 1,000 units. A retail trader cannot simply call Goldman Sachs and ask for a price on euro to US dollar. The barriers to entry are too high, the credit requirements are astronomical, and the minimum trade sizes are prohibitive. The broker solves this problem by aggregating retail orders into smaller, manageable chunks, providing leverage, allowing a trader with 1,000 to control a 100,000 position, offering a trading platform, like MetaTrader 4/5 or CTrader, that displays real-time prices and executes orders. However, how a broker provides these services defines their business model and, consequently, the trader's experience. The first major fork in the road for any Forex broker is whether to operate a dealing desk, DD, or a no dealing desk, NDD, model. This decision dictates where the broker sources its prices and how it manages risk. The dealing desk, market maker, model. Market makers are the oldest and most common type of retail Forex broker. In this model, the broker literally makes the market for the client. When you buy euro to US dollar through a market maker, the broker is not necessarily sending that order to the external market. Instead, they are taking the opposite side of your trade. How it works internally, the broker's dealing desk sets its own bid and ask prices, usually derived from their liquidity providers but with a slight markup, the spread. When a trader clicks buy, the broker sells to them. The broker becomes the counterparty to every single trade. If the trader loses money, the broker, in a simplified sense, keeps that loss. If the trader wins, the broker must cover that win out of its own pocket. Risk management, the B-book. This is where the term B-book originates. Market makers typically run internal risk management systems. They analyze their client base to determine which traders are likely profitable and which are not. Profitable traders, the broker may hedge these trades by sending them to an external liquidity provider, a book, to offset the risk. Unprofitable traders, the broker keeps these trades internal, B-book. Since statistically, 70 to 80% of retail traders lose money, the broker profits from those losses directly. Pros for traders often offer fixed spreads, no commissions, and user-friendly platforms. Cons for traders, a clear conflict of interest exists. The broker profits when you lose. While reputable market makers operate fairly within regulations, unscrupulous ones have been known to manipulate prices, slippage, requotes, to force losses. In response to the conflict of interest inherent in market makers, the NDD model emerged. Here, the broker does not take the opposite side of the trade. Instead, they pass the order through to the interbank market. NDD brokers fall into two subcategories, STP and ECN. Straight-through processing, STP. The broker aggregates prices from multiple liquidity providers, LP1, LP2, LP3. When a client places an order, the STP broker sends that order directly to one of their LPs. The broker earns revenue by marking up the spread slightly, e.g., the LP offers 1.1000/1.1002. The broker offers 1.0998/1.1004. The broker does not intervene in the matching process, the LP fills the order. Electronic Communication Network, ECN. This is the purest form of NDD. An ECN broker creates a hub where various market participants, banks, hedge funds, and retail traders can trade against each other. The ECN displays the best available bid and ask prices from all participants. Unlike STP, where the broker adds a markup, ECN brokers charge a fixed commission per trade, e.g., 5 per 100,000 traded. Spreads are raw and variable, often going as low as 0.0 pips during high liquidity. Pros for traders: no conflict of interest, broker profits via commission/spread markup, not from your loss, faster execution, transparent pricing. Cons for traders: variable spreads, can widen during news events, commissions on every trade, potentially higher initial deposit requirements. Understanding the broker models is useless without knowing how they charge you. The economics of a Forex broker revolve around three variables: spreads, commissions, and swap rates. The spread. The spread is the difference between the bid, sell, price and the ask, buy, price. For example, if Euro-USD is 1.1050, bid/1.1052, ask, the spread is 2 pips. Market makers typically offer fixed spreads, meaning the 2 pips stays constant regardless of market volatility. STP brokers offer variable spreads that reflect the underlying interbank market. ECN brokers offer raw spreads, 0.0 to 0.5 pips, but add a commission. Commissions. While market makers build their fee into the spread, ECN brokers separate the fee. They argue this is cheaper for active traders because a raw spread of 0.1 pips plus a $5 commission is often less than a fixed 2-pip spread on a large trade. Leverage and margin. This is the most dangerous and attractive tool a broker offers. Leverage allows a trader to control a large position with a small amount of capital. Example, a broker offers 100:1 leverage. To control 100,000, one standard lot, the trader only needs 100,000, one standard lot, the trader only needs 1,000, margin. How it works: the broker effectively lends the trader the remaining $99,000. Risk: while leverage magnifies profits, it magnifies losses equally. If the trade moves 1% against the trader, they lose 100% of their margin. Brokers manage this risk through margin calls and stop-outs. If equity falls below the required margin, the broker automatically closes the losing positions to prevent a negative balance, though negative balance protection is a regulatory feature in some jurisdictions. Swaps, overnight funding. Currencies are always traded in pairs because you are borrowing one currency to buy another. If you hold a position past 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the end of the Forex trading day, a swap fee is applied. This reflects the interest rate differential between the two central banks. A broker aggregates the interbank swap rates and applies a small markup. A trader can actually earn positive swaps if they buy a high-yielding currency against a low-yielding one, e.g., long AUD/JPY. While the trader sees a simple chart, the broker is running a complex treasury operation. The broker must protect itself from two existential threats: trader risk and liquidity risk. Very few modern brokers are purely market makers or purely ECN/STP. Most operate a hybrid A/B book model using smart routing software. When you place a trade, the broker's risk management system, often provided by a third party like 10 or Goldeye, analyzes your trade profile. Win/loss history: are you consistently profitable? Trade size: is this a huge, risky order? Strategy: are you scalping, which is risky for the broker, or swing trading? If the system flags you as a risky, profitable client, your order is sent to the A-book, external liquidity providers. The broker earns a small, safe commission and passes the risk to the bank. If the system flags you as a high probability loser, example, you overleverage, hold positions too long, or trade erratically, your order goes to the B-book, internal dealing desk. The broker keeps your trade as a bet against you. Since 70% of traders fail, this is a profitable strategy for the broker, provided they hedge their exposure to the 30% who succeed. How does an STP or ECN broker actually fill your order? They connect to liquidity providers, LPs, usually Tier 1 banks or large non-bank market makers, like XTX Markets or Citadel Securities. The broker maintains a prime broker account with a major bank that aggregates all these LPs. The broker's software sends your order to the LP offering the best price at that millisecond. The broker earns the spread markup as revenue for facilitating this connection. A major aspect of how brokers work involves what happens between clicking buy and the trade appearing on the screen. This is order execution. Market orders: you request to buy at the current market price. However, the price moves in microseconds. The broker will fill you at the next available price. If the market is stable, that's your requested price. If news hits, the price might be 5 pips worse, negative slippage, or, rarely, 5 pips better, positive slippage. Requotes: legacy issue in the past: if the price moved before a market maker broker could process your order, they would send a requote, asking you to accept the new price. High-quality NDD brokers have largely eliminated requotes via high-speed execution, though they still occur during extreme volatility. Stop losses and gapping: brokers promise to execute stop losses as close as possible to your specified level. However, in a gapping market, e.g., a weekend news event or a central bank surprise, the price jumps over your stop. The broker must fill you at the first available price after the gap. This is a feature of the underlying market, not necessarily broker malpractice, though shady brokers will widen slippage to hurt clients. A Forex broker cannot operate arbitrarily. They must obtain a license from a regulatory body. The regulator dictates how the broker handles client money, what leverage they can offer, and how they report trades. Tier 1 regulators: strict. FCA, UK requires client funds to be held in segregated accounts, offers negative balance protection, and limits leverage to 30:1 for retail clients. ASIC, Australia, similar to FCA, though recent rule changes have tightened leverage restrictions. SEC, Cyprus, the gateway to the European market. Historically less strict than the FCA, but bound by ESMA, European Securities and Markets Authority, rules, including leverage caps, 30:1, and bonus bands. Many brokers register in jurisdictions like the Cayman Islands, Shima, Seychelles, FSA, or St. Vincent and the Grenadines, no specific Forex regulator. These offer high leverage, 500:1, 1000:1, or unlimited. No negative balance protection. Lower capital requirements for the broker. Why regulation matters: a regulated broker must submit to audits, cannot trade against you using insider information, and must have a complaints process. If an unregulated offshore broker goes bankrupt, your money is likely gone forever. If an FCA-regulated broker goes bankrupt, you are covered by the Financial Services Compensation Scheme, FSCS, up to £85,000. How does a broker actually make money to pay for servers, staff, and marketing? Spread markup, the primary revenue for market makers and STP brokers. E.g., $10 per standard lot traded. Commissions, primary revenue for ECN brokers. Swap/financing fees, a significant source of revenue. Brokers charge a markup on the interbank rate for holding positions overnight. Even if the interbank rate is neutral, 0.0, the broker will charge a small fee. The B-book, internalization is noted. If a broker internalizes your losing trade, they keep your loss as revenue. This is the most profitable model but carries the highest regulatory and ethical risk. Withdrawal/deposit fees. Many brokers offer free deposits but charge for withdrawals via wire transfer. Inactivity fees, a controversial but common fee charged after 6 to 12 months of no trading. So, how do Forex brokers work? They work as sophisticated financial gateways that aggregate liquidity, provide leverage, and offer technological access to the largest market on earth. But beneath that neutral service lies a complex, often adversarial dynamic. If you trade with a market maker, dealing desk, you are trading against the house. The house has an edge, not just the spread, but the statistical probability that you will make a mistake and lose your deposit. If you trade with an NDD broker, STP/ECN, the broker becomes a utility provider, charging a toll, spread/commission, for access to the interbank highway. The most successful traders understand this dynamic. They choose their broker not based on flashy bonuses or free gifts, classic B-book lures, but on execution quality, regulatory jurisdiction, and transparency of model. They look for brokers who are profitable when the trader is profitable, ECN/STP, or if using a market maker, they ensure the broker is regulated by a Tier 1 authority like the FCA, which restricts the worst internalization abuses. Ultimately, a Forex broker is a business. Like a casino, the math is rigged in their favor over the long run due to spreads and the difficulty of trading. However, unlike a slot machine, skill can overcome the broker's edge, provided the broker is playing fairly. By understanding the mechanics of AB books, liquidity aggregation, and regulatory oversight, the retail trader transforms from a passive participant into an informed consumer, capable of navigating the vast, volatile ocean of the Forex market without being sunk by the very vessel they sail on. Understanding the plumbing of the Forex market is the first step toward becoming a professional trader. But knowing how they work is one thing, knowing how to trade with them is another. Now, I have a quick question for you. Are you currently using an ECN broker or a market maker? Drop a comment below. I'm curious to see what everyone is using and I'll be jumping in to answer your questions. If this video helped clear the fog, do me a huge favor, hit that like button and subscribe. It tells YouTube this content is valuable, and it ensures you don't miss our next education. Thanks for watching, and I wish you well in your trading.